Today, one of the largest horticulture trade shows is in town at the Greater Columbus Convention Center.
And one of the gardening experts, Jim Moyland, is from the Ray Wiegand's Nursery Garden in Michigan. Jim, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good. So we have to begin by asking, is it too late to start a garden? It's
of course
July.
Not.
It's
of
not.
course not. As long as you're on top of watering and fertilizing, you can plant any time of year. The watering is the most important part of it. So as long as you're on top of that, you should be fine. That's one of the biggest mistakes I think most homeowners make is not watering.
So if you do start, well, and then I guess that must be then the biggest challenge that people would have is
Correct.
knowing how
Correct.
much to water.
Right, and not overwatering, not underwatering. People are on vacations. That's one of the biggest challenges I feel that people have.
And each plant is different.
Correct. Correct.
That's a big challenge.
Yes.
So then how do you know if you're watering too much or not enough?
Typically, you can notice yellow leaves if it's one or the other. Yellow leaves is a very good indicator on too much water or not enough water. So if you think it's too much, maybe stick your finger in the soil, see if it's wet. If it is, back off the water a little bit.
Just as there's too much water, is there such a thing as too much sun?
On shade plants, yes, but on sun-loving plants, no. I mean, the more sun, the better on all sun-loving plants. You know, vegetables, tomatoes, all love the more sun, the better.
And if you do want to go ahead and start a garden right now, are there particular plants better for Central Ohio or in this area than others?
No, it's a pretty versatile state, I feel. It's kind of similar to Michigan. You could do mainly anything. I mean, you could do hydrangeas as a shrub, which we see here, or, you know, petunias and Gerber daisies. All of them are pretty hardy for here. They're not going to be a problem at all. They're going to weather the summer fairly well.
When I was telling you a little while ago that I do have hydrangeas, but we can't get them to flower. I think the first year we had them, they flowered, and now it's just a plant that grows.
Right. And it occasionally happens on certain varieties of hydrangeas. Some hydrangeas don't want to be trimmed in the spring. Some want to get trimmed in the fall. Some don't want to be trimmed at all. So you want to make sure you're trimming it at the right time of year and fertilizing appropriately as well.
Let's talk about Cultivate 14.
Okay.
What can we expect today?
About 10,000 people coming into town.
Lot.
So it's a pretty busy event. It's one of the nation's largest garden horticulture events we have.
And what do you do? I mean, there's
So we have greenhouses, garden centers, growers, landscapers, nursery growers, interior plantscapes, across the board, researchers, universities, all come here to congregate, take a look at new and exciting products and plants for the next year, new information, new research information, stuff like that.
And you mentioned though that this was just for the industry,
correct,
right?
Correct. Unfortunately, it's not open to public. It's just industry-wide.
Okay.
So for novice gardeners, beginners like myself,
Like yourself.
is there something that you would recommend to begin, something to ease my transition
A
into the
good
gardening
plant,
world?
maybe?
I would say if you're going to look for a vegetable, I would say start with a pepper plant or tomato plant. They're fairly easy. They kind of do their own thing.
And I can start this
Yeah,
in the middle of July.
Yep. It might be a little behind other plants, but you could still start them. It won't hurt. I mean, as long as you're watering and you get them in the ground soon, you're fine to go.
Now, what's a good hardy flower that you may not kill?
That you might not kill?
That you
Is
might
that-
not kill, right? You know, that would die on you.
I would say for down here, lantana's a great plant, and vinca. They need a little less water, very drought tolerant, very colorful, comes in a variety of colors. Those are great plants to use.
Well, because not
in the
all of
garden.
us have a green thumb.
Right.
Clearly.
Let's
two
talk
of
a little
us.
bit about some of the plants you brought in
Okay.
here, and what, if you are growing, you know, one of these types of plants here, you know, what do people need to know?
Petunias are very easy to grow. There's you know, tons of different colors. We have million bells here, which is a type of petunia almost. We have, you know, these varieties. There's purples. There's all kinds of colors, shapes, forms. Petunias are very hungry plants. They like to be fed quite a bit. So make sure you get the Miracle-Gro out or whatever you like to prefer to use as fertilizer. Fertilize them. If they get too big and too hairy for what you like, give it a little haircut. It won't hurt it at all. It's going to flush right back out after that.
Can you grow just about any plant in a pot, or are some plants mainly restricted to the dirt?
I would
soil?
say for annuals, perennials, and vegetables, you're good for pots. If you're looking at shrubs, I would say they're going to do better in the ground because they're not going to overwinter in that pot. But as long as you're fertilizing in the pot for vegetables, it's fine to doing that.
All right, sounds pretty good.
Thank you so much. Have fun
No
today.
problem.
10,000 people?
10,000 people.
I thought that was a typo when I read that.